going to feature some fairly new and controversial products. We've got the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop Foundation. This is what the bottle looks like. And we've also got the Jaclyn Hill X Morphe Vault collection. I'm only going to be using one of the palettes from the collection today. The palette that I'm going to be using today is going to be the Dark Magic palette. You can see that my background has changed a little bit, and also only using one of my ring lights. I usually use a ring light and 2 soft boxes, and there's also a lot of natural light coming in through the window. I don't know which you prefer, artificial lighting or natural lighting. You guys can let me know in the comment section. But without any more babbling, let's just get right into the video. I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded. It's just rough times, rough times. So getting right into the makeup portion. Today I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Poreless Primer to prime my face. I've heard this foundation is really matte. I do have oily to combo skin, and I have like small dry patches. I get it like here in the middle of my forehead, on like the sides of my nose. So I'm just gonna put this on my face. It has like tea tree oil in it, so you can like smell it. I've used this primer before. I used to use it a lot, like with every foundation like that I ever put on my face. I just decided to use this one because I feel like this would be the best for a foundation like this. But let's just read some of the claims on this foundation. The NYX website says lightweight, waterproof, and pigmented as you know what. Our new Can't Stop, Won't Stop full coverage foundation hustles as hard as you do. This comfy liquid formula comes in 45 flattering tones that don't transfer. Every creamy shade glides on smooth, delivering matte coverage and color that stays true for up to 24 hours. It's a nice glass bottle, and it has a pump, which is good because who the hell wants to pour out foundation? Let's just put out one pump. Ooh. It's not too thick. It is running just a little bit, but it's also not like really loosey. Usually I would try and use one side with a brush and one side with a sponge, but considering how matte this foundation is supposed to be, I would just rather use a sponge. I also just cleaned my beauty sponges, so I'm a little proud of myself. I have the shade Honey. I'm just going to dot some on the side of my face. So this is with one layer on my face. I think even with the sponge, I think it looks good. I'm glad that I used that poreless primer underneath. There's still a little bit of shine that could just be my lights. I'm pretty sure it'll just take a minute for it to really dry down. But with that being said, it wasn't hard to work with. It didn't dry too quickly. The shade is okay. It's a little warm, so I will be blending just a little bit down my neck. You can kind of see it's just a little bit warmer. When I was trying to find my shade, I swear I could not find any that said warm undertone. A lot of people look at my face and they go, oh, you know, you're a cool or neutral undertone, or, you know, your foundation needs to be this light. And I'm like, no, I'm really not that light. In pictures, regardless of what color foundation I wear, for some reason I come off as the brightest light bright. Naturally, my skin is very tan, warm undertone, so it's not too bad. I'm pretty sure even if I didn't blend it down my neck, it would still look okay. I'm actually really loving this, and I haven't even put on concealer yet. I also have a bunch more on my hand. You really don't need that much. Probably a pump and a half, because I put out way too much. This is looking really nice. Okay, concealer is on. Brows are done. And now time to get to the controversial part I was mentioning, which is the Jaclyn Hill X Morphe Vault Collection. If you don't already know, it comes with 4 palettes, and each palette has a total of 10 eyeshadows. So the first palette we have is Ring the Alarm, which is this kind of fall colored palette. One thing I did notice looking at this palette, hence my shirt for all you Potterheads out there, is a lot of the colors in each of these palettes remind me of Hogwarts houses. Like, it reminds me of Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, all of it. Next palette, which is the Dark Magic palette. This one is so Slytherin. It's so Slytherin with like a wink of Hufflepuff. If these are unfamiliar terms for you, I will quit at some point in this video. But if they are not, please leave a comment down below what house you are from, because my fellow Slytherins, Slitherdor, I don't know. We'll figure out some kind of hybrid. I would say that Dark Magic is probably calling my name out of all these palettes. Next we have the Armed and Gorgeous palette. We've got a mossy green shade over here. That's the controversial part. I've heard good and bad things about that shade, but we're gonna put all of that to the test. I'm only gonna be choosing one palette out of all 4 of these to do today, and there's going to be one designated video for each palette. I'm going to be doing different looks, different videos, and you'll find out at the end of the showing which palette I'm going to be using today. As you can see, I've dipped into some of these palettes, and it's only because of how I was hearing the reviews, and I decided that I wanted to try and play around with them first, so I'll be just using the palettes based on the knowledge I've gathered from using them. So this last palette is the Bling Boss palette, and this one is more purpley pink champagne-y colors. The palette I will be using today is the drumroll Dark Magic palette, and here it is. I turned off my ring light for you guys, so that way you guys are able to really see the colors and everything doesn't look washed out, everything looks pigmented. I used the shades Shush, Busted, Temptress, and the shimmer is a mix of Power Cut and Diversion. So I am going to recreate this eye look on this eye. Hopefully it comes out same as this eye, because for some reason with my eyes to just look completely different. Let's just get right to doing the other eye. Okay, that got really dark really fast, but this is the eye look. I absolutely love it, actually. I would say at first I thought the shades were going to be a little patchy. So what I did was, and what I've seen a lot of people not do, is I set my eye first. Used the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder, and I set my eye first before I applied the eyeshadow. I actually have no complaints with the shades that I used. We'll see what happens when I use any of the other shades in this palette or in the other palette, because there will be more eye looks coming. Onto the foundation. I'm stunned by it right now. I think it looks beautiful. I think that the finish is lovely. To be honest, I think it might be the primer, but it looks more natural looking rather than flat matte like I've seen it on everybody else. But I've also seen them use the NYX matte primer that came with it, or that you could buy with it, which I did not use. This inner corner highlight is just the shade Power Cut, with, you know, without wetting it, so I just put that on my inner corner. But those are my thoughts on the foundation, on the 3 shades that I used. I'm hopeful, based on this, for the next palettes and colors that I use from this Vault collection. I know that there are a lot of issues with the palettes, but I feel like maybe there is a way to work around it. Those are all my thoughts on the foundation and the palette, so I believe I will see you guys next time that I post a video. So, bye guys!